Hi, everyone. My name's Kerry Morgan, and I am the host of Holistic Empire Summit. This is a place where all the women are coming to get engaged with their mindset and also finding their purpose, building prosperity and making profits. So we are going into round two. This is my second summit this year, and it's really dealing with your inner self-worth. It's dealing with that connection that you have with your mind, body, and spirit, and also realizing you are worth more, right? And asking and really stepping into your power and showing up every day for yourself. So today we have Clarissa, right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, because I usually always ask everybody, how do you say your name? Make sure. And my mind was like, oh. So she helps women build a relationship around money. She has an amazing podcast that she is giving to the world, which I was on and I loved it. And I'm going to let her dive a little bit deeper into exactly how she helps women entrepreneurs succeed in the world of distraction.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, my podcast is the Prosper and Profit podcast. If you want to find that, Kerry was episode number 6. And I help women build a relationship with their money. And what I mean by that is it's easy to build a relationship with your money, easier than it is to change a mindset. So I changed the word mindset to relationship because it's so much easier to just build a relationship, because you have to have that relationship with your money to be able to have more money in your life. And everyone that I've worked with and talked about this with, they understand that building a relationship with money is so much easier than changing that mindset, because a mindset is something where you have to really go into it and think about it. So we go into your past and we build on that relationship by figuring out how things were before and how you want them to be now.
Great. Yes, I love that episode. I mean, I'm just really going back and clearing up some stuff that was hidden there was really awesome. Just by doing the interview, I loved it. So,
Yeah.
what is the one word that you describe yourself as? If someone is in your presence and they kind of walk away and you walk away and they kind of say, she has this type of energy about her. So what would you say that is?
I would say that's intuitive. Like, I can feel the energy of another person, whether I'm connecting with them over the internet or I'm in the same room with them. Like, I just feel this energy of another person. And there's times, especially when I'm working with people to work on their money relationship, I can hear the things that you're not saying about money. And that's how I do my work, is by hearing those things you're really not saying.
Yeah, you know what, and that's the fear part of not speaking your truth is
Mm-hmm.
really something that more people need to be aware of. That subconscious, those subconscious words that just don't want to come out of your mouth. You kind of hide them in the closet. So I know you've been doing this for a little while. So can you describe how long you've been doing your business and what has aligned you to start this process? Like, what have you done in the past that has aligned you on this field of, creating podcasts and helping women with their money issues?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've actually had my business itself for about 2.5 years. It was the middle of 2014, but it was everything leading up to that for how I started my business, from when I graduated college in 2009 until 2014. All of that stuff, because I didn't have a relationship with my money. I was living, I actually say, less than paycheck to paycheck, because one paycheck each week didn't even cover even half of my bills. I could barely pay my rent and put food on the table and all of that stuff. So I had to learn myself how to build my relationship with my money and change this so that I had more money in my life. And once I was able to change that for myself, other people were coming to me and they were like, how did you do that? So I kind of fell into the coaching because I had Reiki and crystal healing, and I was using those, and then it ended up falling into the money coaching because I have 3 college degrees in accounting as well. So the money stuff is really easy for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I love that, especially because you're more of a millennium, right? Like you have that base, you're just graduated, and so many people or so many, young adults. So I would still call you guys young adults, even though you're adults, but for my age anyway, have that like, how do I make it? Like, what type of job am I supposed to be doing? Because, you go to school and sometimes you don't have to work in school. So you're just making sure you get your grades and then you get out and you're like, whoa, how am I going to make this money? So that is great that you fell into that because you could definitely help this other generation that needs to really own that space and step into your power. I love that. I definitely love that. And I love how you were open to the fact. And a lot of people have to walk that walk, right?
Mhm.
And you had to walk that walk because then that really lets you be able to help people more when you're in that space and you're coming from that space, right, of scarcity or not having enough. So what are some of the key ingredients that you have had the best results in the fastest time? So say if you had a client or someone that totally shifted, and they came to you. You can use an example of a client, or if I was a new client and I came to you, what would be a best result, or what would you give them so that they would be able to see the best results, in your business and how you coach?
Mhm. Yes. So what we do is in the beginning, we do the first month because I do a 4-month coaching program. So the whole first month, and we meet once a week. And that whole first month, we really go into an assessment of where you are now and how you got to where you are now. So we have to dig into your past and from you the very first childhood memory, because this is the very first thing, one of the very first questions I ask for all of my podcast interviews. What's your first money memory? That first money memory changes everything the whole way down for your entire current, like how you look at money right now. That first money memory changes everything. Because for me, one of my first money memories is going to the store with my mom, and she's always saying, we can't afford that. No, you can't have that. We can't afford that. And so I've always looked at it where I had to spend all of my money at the grocery store because I can't afford anything else. And I had a client who was very similar. Her first money memory had something to do with her father or no, it wasn't her father. It was her mother taking her money that she received from her father. And so now, over the process of our 4 months working together, now she realizes that her mother, or not everyone is going to take her money when she needs it.
Mm.
She can have that money, but we had to go through that process of figuring out what that memory was. And then working through it to forgive her mother for doing this, and then you had to forgive yourself as well. Forgiveness is a really big thing around your money memories. And that's one of the biggest things that I work with my clients is finding those memories and then forgiving the person, but you also have to forgive yourself. And then we go through a little bit more to work on it. And this is also where my intuitive abilities come out, where I just figure out as we're going what needs to be done. So everyone doesn't always get the same exact session every time.
Yeah, and that's good. It's like a custom set, which is great
Yeah.
because everyone's different, right? Especially on that money blueprint. I love that because I just did an earlier interview, and it came to that same thing, forgiveness, and how
Mhm.
huge that is. And like so many people hate forgiving other people and yourself. It's like the taboo, right? You're like, once you
Mhm.
do something bad to me, I am never forgiving you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it myself too, but that is a great healing process. And this is that exactly what the summit's about, the healing process, because you can't, if you don't heal, you won't step into that power. You will keep yourself small. And so this leads us right into, how do you master your 24 hours as a female entrepreneur, and how do you stay in alignment with your business? So if you can explain like some of the things that helps you as a female entrepreneur, would be great.
Okay. Yeah, one of the first things I do when I get up is I actually have to have a glass of water. That's one of the very first things because it helps to just wake me up. And then I sit down, and for the next 30 to 45 minutes, I journal and I write out my mindset beliefs and anything else that I need to just write down for that day. I write it down. And then I will shower and eat breakfast, and then I'll go about the rest of my day accomplishing any tasks that I need to do. Usually I try to do a podcast episode every couple days. And then I'll also work on creating other content. And then after 4 or 5 o'clock for dinner time, I'll eat dinner. And then I actually read for probably an hour or more to see, like, if I'm really hooked in the book, it's going to keep going. But because there are some good books where you just can't put them down.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I always make sure I'm in bed between 9:30 and 10 to get my 8 hours of sleep every night.
Yeah, that's great. Sleep is so vital with just making sure that, you have that time to make sure you're listening and healing your body, but also you get a lot of downloads at night. So yeah, that's definitely a great idea. So let's go to a day, like maybe your day is super busy, packed with clients or something, and then maybe something totally hits the fan, like shit hits the fan, and you're like, oh my God. So let's go into, what are some of the like trigger words, or like, how do you bring yourself back, so that you can totally say, okay, I need to be back in awareness. I need to be back in the mindset, but you have all this chaos going around. How do you find that inner mindfulness?
I would actually take a couple minutes in between phone calls or clients or whatever I'm doing. I find a YouTube video that has the sound of rain, and then I just meditate for 5-10 minutes, however much I need to. Just listen to that rain and sit in silence with my eyes closed. That will always bring me back to being present. Just hearing the rain. I try to find one that has the thunder in it too, because I just love thunderstorms.
That's funny. That's great. Usually people are terrified by thunderstorms.
Nope, I love thunderstorms. I love listening to them. Even at my parents' house, they own a dairy farm. I love being able to listen to the thunderstorms.
So for your clients, who do you really look for? Do you look for the millenniums, or are you, is it young entrepreneurs that have just started their business? What is your best, what type of clients do you usually go for or look for, or usually fall into your lap?
Mm-hmm. Usually they are, yes, the young entrepreneurs they are, yes, more the millennials. My age group is 28 to 35, which I think is actually 35 is the cutoff for millennials. But that's just because that's who I relate to the most, because I've been through everything that they've been through. I've actually probably been through more because I grew up on a dairy farm. I worked really crappy jobs. I've been let go from 2, and I lived through a house fire.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all like I've been through all of it, and so I relate to them the most. So it's easiest to work with people that I relate to the most and can handle their situation the same way they can.
Yeah, no, that's totally powerful. I love that. And so I know you said you have a accounting degree. So what made you do the 3 accounting degrees? Like, I want to just understand, because I know it's a lot of schooling, right? And it's a lot of numbers, but that is good because that puts you in that mindset, right? Of that digital mindset of like, figuring out, well, this types of numbers works for me, this doesn't, what process I use. So yeah, I love that. I would love to learn more about that. so other people could say when your
Mhm.
head's in the game, you're thinking about numbers. So yeah, that'd be great.
Yep. So my first accounting degree, which is my bachelor's, I got that because when growing up on a dairy farm, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with that. I wanted
Yeah.
a job that was, I guess you could say, a safe job that made a lot of money. And if you've heard, I've heard a couple of, in the Join Up Dots podcast, he has a quote from, I can't remember if it's from um,
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs
Yeah.
or Drew Carey. I can't remember
He
who.
might change them, but I think the one I was on was Steve
Yeah.
Jobs.
Well, he has both of them in there.
Oh, okay.
And the one said, "My father took a safe job as an accountant."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's where I was going with that part. And it's like, so in a way, that's what it was at first. My second degree is an MBA in forensic accounting, which forensic accounting is fraud. And I did that because I love forensic accounting. I love doing the research part of it. And that's actually why I got my job as a government auditor, because I have that forensic accounting degree, because I love doing the research. And then my third degree, which is an MSA, also in forensic accounting, because I was bored.
That's the funniest thing ever. She's like, I'm bored. Let me just get a like extreme degree on the hardest thing ever just because.
Yep. I was bored with what I was doing at the time. My job, I hated my job and I was bored. So I went back to college for another degree, and both of my masters I got while I was working full-time jobs.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's that inner strength, right? That you need to like push through, which is so incredible. And and that pushed you through because you're like, I do not want to be on a dairy farm, right? And I just
Yep.
do not want to be doing this. So whatever it takes, I will do it, which is awesome. When a lot of people don't do that, which I do love that. And so what is your big vision do you want to create in this line of work that you're doing now, for your ultimate performance in your lifespan, so that you are building a legacy or some type of worldwide expansion, or just what do you want to be known for in your space? Like, how do you want to touch millions of people? Like, what do you see for yourself?
I really want to impact more women to be able to have that financial independence and not have to rely on anyone else for money again. Because what really catapulted me into being a money coach was I worked one season as a tax preparer. I absolutely hated that. um, I hate taxes, period. I always have. That's part of the reason why my college degrees are in forensic accounting, which is fraud. So I did one season as a tax preparer, and the city that I was living in and working in, these women would come in during the day because that was their job to do. They were stay-at-home moms, and their husbands did all the work. They could not answer any questions that had to do with the money. When I was asking them questions, we had to wait for their husband to come back after he was done. And that I was like, really? You can't answer any questions that have to do with money. And that's where I found my mission is to help women become independent with money. Because the other thing that I noticed is women will get into a marriage or a relationship and they can't leave it because of financial reasons. They don't have that financial independence to be able to just leave a relationship. And that was something I really want to see happen. I want women to have that financial independence.
Yes, that is huge. I'm sure so many women can relate to this right now in the audience, which I love, right? Just because that ability to have that financial security for yourself is, definitely makes you claim your worth and know deep down inside that you are worth it just by stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that, lights you up, and you also see the reward, right? The
Yes.
reward. And, and there are how many women probably have gotten a divorce because they didn't want to know anything about numbers. And then they were just like there was nothing for them to do, right? They're like, now they're stuck with no man, or they have to deal with a cheating husband, right? Because they don't want to leave him, right? And then they go into this, when they do leave or something happens or he leaves her, and then they're stuck and they're like, well, what do I do now? So it's just like they're learning all over again. So the process is to always keep your mind open for these types of changes in your life so you can grow, right? Because we're moving into the 21st century. So this is going to pull us into, how would you say that spiritual alignment looks in your eyes? Because I know that your word is intuitive. So I would like to know what that spiritual alignment feels like for you, and how would you describe it in your life?
For me, spiritual alignment just feels like you're on that right path. You know where you're going and where you should be. And that's where I came into my mission, is that spiritual alignment. Just, I need to help women build that relationship with their money. And it just feels like so right. You wake up in the morning and that's the only thing you want to do all day is just work on that mission. And that's just how, I love working on this stuff. Yeah, there are days where I don't want to, but that's part of being a human.
Yeah.
And
Right? We could crush that part. That'd be fine.
yeah, exactly. But I just wake up every morning, like I jump out of bed and it's like, yes, another day, I can do this again, kind of thing. And there's also times where you get to working on it late at night and you just don't want to go to bed too. And that's what I feel that spiritual alignment is.
Yeah, it's definitely in the flow. I love that because you could feel that energy. It's almost like you don't need an alarm clock, right? You just jump
Yep.
out of bed, or you're just feeling that, like you drink 2 cups of coffee and you haven't drank any type of caffeine, right? But your body's energized. So yeah, I definitely have had those situations come, and I've had those situations where it's late at night and I'm falling asleep and I'm like, I got to get this done, right?
Mhm.
Not in a bad way. It's just like, let's get this moving because I want to keep it going and I know it's something I need to do. So let's move into the technology. How has technology helped you grow your business? It's helping us do this amazing summit right now, and it's
Mhm.
going to be shared between tons and thousands of people, right? But how has technology helped your business? How have you seen some advancements in your business?
Well, the very first thing, like we already mentioned my podcast, because I use technology every day to do my podcast. I have solo episodes where I just record on a program that I have on my computer, or my interviews I record online, just like we're doing now. And and then I transform all of that to make it available to the public. And that's how technology has just advanced everything that we can do, because I also, when I work with my clients, whether it's in a group or private, we talk to each other online, whether it's video or just phone. And it just helps to be able to connect to everyone all over the world instead of just someone right down the road, like most businesses used to be.
Right. Yeah. The foot traffic, right? And if you
Right.
can get that foot traffic in, you were done, right? Say if everyone was gone and the holiday season was over, or if it's at the shore or something, you need that foot traffic. But nowadays, it has definitely opened up a space. So let's dive in a little bit about your podcast, and let's talk about that thing, because I know you love podcasts, right? So how have you found that podcasts have really elevated your business? Have you been receiving more requests to be on your podcast? Have you been receiving more coaching clients? How has that really helped you and transformed your money blueprint in your business?
Yes, I have definitely been receiving a lot more requests for people to be on my podcast. Once they find out what I actually interviewed you on, they're like, "Ooh, I have something amazing I want to share," kind of thing. And then once we get on the podcast, I've actually had a couple episodes where I end up coaching the person that I'm interviewing,
That's
because
great.
that's how it falls into what we're talking about. And those episodes are available to everyone to listen to, so everyone else gets that same coaching that I just gave the person that I was interviewing. Because Everyone has a really unique money story. No one has the same story. So by being able to share all of these different ones, so many more people can relate to every different thing that we're talking about. And that really helps to bring more people in, whether to share their story, know that they're not alone, or even ask for help.
Right. The asking for help is huge,
Yeah.
right? Because even when you hear someone's story, you're like, okay, you know what? I can ask. Like you
Mhm.
get that little idea and you get that confidence and you get that sense of self. And you're
Yeah.
like, you know what? How about I just ask?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's great that you're sharing this message with people because, I remember I was interviewed with you and I literally, you asked me one question, I couldn't talk. It was like, this was so stuck inside of me. I forget what the freaking question was, but I literally could not like get the words out. And I love to talk. So
Mhm.
I knew that there was some kind of block deep down inside that I probably just
Mhm.
kept putting blankets on it or shutting doors and just, shoving it under the basement stairs, right? And trying to
Yep.
hide it, right? But when you asked and I couldn't get my words out, I was like, okay, I see there's an issue there. I'm gonna go back and listen to that episode just because I think I probably need to clear that up, right? I'm
Uh-huh.
sure I did some work on it, but I'm sure I could do a lot more work on it. But
Mhm.
that is awesome. So do you want to do you do all your editing and everything for your podcast, or is there stuff that you delegate, or do you find it's your baby and you just love and you're just creating this masterpiece yourself?
Right now, I do everything because, yes, it's my baby and it's a masterpiece that I just really want to create and get it out there. And I don't trust anyone right now to be able to put it out the same way that I do.
Yeah, that's good. And when you're starting anything in a business, I feel it's good to have the hands-on approach, because then you can set up a system when you want to delegate and properly record everything so they know exactly what you want
Yeah.
instead of just faithfully giving something to someone and then being disappointed and then really feeling like, okay, then this is never going to work. I'm never going to have anything that I want because you're giving all your power away. It is good to also claim your power and also know when you're ready to delegate and also feel like you have this more enlightened ability when you start taking actions, right, and that
Mhm.
commitment to yourself. So that is great. And so how has alignment, because I know you said you journal every day and that really clears your mind, how has alignment helped you in creating and sustaining abundance and wealth?
Well, it comes back to the journaling, and I also do my belief statements, whether they're what you can consider them mindset changes, whatever you want to say. But I rewrite those every day, and there's always at least 3 of them that have to do with abundance and staying in alignment with who I am and who I want to be, because you need that in your life, and if you're not continuing to focus on it, then it's not going to stay present.
Uh,
And
yeah, go ahead.
and how I mentioned where I listen to the rain or the thunderstorms and then just meditate for 5 to 10 minutes to get me back into the present time, it eliminates all of that chaos that you've just been going through, because you bring yourself back to the present time for right here, right now, and nothing else around you matters.
Yeah, so you can bring all your energy right there so you don't have that chaotic or that self-doubt or that
Mhm.
mindset wandering around or you're not taking action, right? Or you're procrastinating. So it brings you right back to that space. Awesome. So we're at the end, and my final set question is usually, can you share with the audience some golden nuggets? Like say maybe you meet somebody out and you give them these action steps. And if they consistently do this simple little thing, it will get them moving forward into their power. So, can you share something fun with us?
Absolutely. And I'm going to actually get you into your power with money.
Okay.
And this is,
Woo!
I tell everyone, this is the first thing I do with all of my private clients and all of my group coaching clients too. The very first thing you need to do is get a notebook or something and start tracking all of your money, whether it's coming in or going out. You need to track all of it and just write it down. That's all you have to do. Don't really analyze it or anything like that. Just write it down. And then after 30 days, you can look back and see where you spent your money and where you made your money.
Yeah, that's good because a lot of people don't even know what they're spending in one day, right?
Right.
Right? They're going to work and then they're like going to lunch and then they're going to dinner and they're going drinking after. So sometimes that
Mhm.
whole day has spent everything you made, within the
Yep.
whole day. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'm fine, and then you get your paycheck and then you're like, why don't I have enough money? So yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely believe that. So please let everyone know exactly where they can find you. And if you have an offer or something that you would love to promote right now, this would be the time to share that link or that call to action or where the people need to go.
Absolutely. I have created a special guide just for you guys. It's called Reset Your Money Mindset, and you can get that at clarissawilson.com/reset. And it's going to help you to get back to the present time with your money relationship instead of being focused on everything that you've learned in the past. So you can reset it to what you want it to be right now.
Oh man, that sounds juicy, right? That sounds fantastic. Oh, I love that. I want to say thank you. And of course, we're going to have all the links. All the links are on the sales page right underneath every speaker's name. And that will give you a direct link to whatever you need and how you can find more about these magnificent women that have shared their time with you to be able to step into your power. Because in reality, what it takes is you showing up every day for yourself, you empowering your mind, and also giving courage and confidence in the person that is inside, right? Your inner spirit, your inner soul, and making sure that you take that action. And it's just not about writing and journaling, it's about taking aligned action every day, waking up, making a commitment, and asking for help, but doing the work. It all comes down to doing the work. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here with us. This is going to be amazing. Make sure you stay tuned for the next speaker that's going to be on. You can definitely go to my Holistic Summit Empire site and find out anything that you need to about these ladies. And I think it is called the Money Karma. So yeah, you're going to have to backslash that, but I'll have all the information underneath this video for you. And I want to say thank you again for showing up and bringing all of your knowledge. So we are going to sign off. Let's say bye.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.